Welcome back to the channel. I finally built my PC. Today's video will be a build log for the PC. Up front, I do want to apologize for the video footage. I used a lens that was way too big by accident, and that resulted in the video being too zoomed in. But the last two shots should be okay since I used the correct lens size. Anyways, let's get to the video. If you didn't see last month's video, you will not know the parts that I'll be using today, so keep watching. If you did see last month's video, there will be a timestamp right here. Fast forward to the start of the build log. For this build, I'll be using the Intel Core i7-10700K for my CPU. I am pairing it with the Asus Prime Z490A motherboard. For storage, I went with a 250GB M.2 SSD as my boot drive, and a 2TB non-boot SSD as my mass storage device. For RAM, I went with 32GB of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM. I unfortunately couldn't get a graphics card right now. At the time of writing, it's early April 2021, and the shortage of cards is still going on. For my power supply, I went with the Be Quiet Pure Power 11 600W power supply. All this stuff will be going into the Corsair 4000D case. I was having a hard time picking a case that I really liked until I thought, you know what, let's see if Corsair has any cases. For cooling and peripherals, I went with 6 120mm RGB fans from Up Here. I planned on using Corsair's RGB Hub and Commander Pro to link them all together, but I ended up not using those for reasons you'll see in a bit. For my CPU cooler, I went with the Be Quiet Pure Rock 2. I also planning on buying some fan and RGB splitters for reasons, again, you'll see in a bit. I also need to buy a Wi-Fi card and Bluetooth mod since the Z490A didn't have that feature. I went with the HyperX Alloy Core RGB keyboard and RGB mouse. For speakers, I went the Plaintext Evil Sound Mini. I like their small form factor and of course the RGB. So to start off, I collected my motherboard, CPU cooler, and RAM, oh of course, and power supply, and brought them to my table. I first plugged in my power supply to make sure I was grounded by tapping the power supply every so often. I installed the CPU and started filming. I'm going to let past me do the talking right now, but I'll be back. I have the back plate on, and I have the CPU installed. I have the motherboard out. I'm making sure I'm grounded, and all of my instructions kind of everywhere. But yeah, I think I'm making good progress. I mean, that was probably the part I was scared most about. Everything else, I think I have a decent grasp on. This thing's going to be a big challenger because I really don't know how the Be Quiet, I think it's the Be Quiet Pure Rock 2, yeah. The CPU fan, that's going to be the big one. That's the main one that I did the least research about, and that I'm going to have probably the most trouble about mounting. But I'm confident I can do it. Let's look. Intel Core i7-10700K. Alright, so I have the M.2 drive installed under there. Got the Be Quiet Pure Rock Pro set up. Have my Corsair RAM installed. CPU's installed. No idea where this wire goes. I'm gonna have to look at the manual for that. I'm about to see if I can get into the BIOS. I mean, I think I have everything on that end. GPU I don't have. We know how the shortage is going on right now. Decided to build the whole entire thing without the GPU. I'll probably be waiting until around September till I could get one. Yeah, but I think I'm ready to connect my power supply, 24-pin connector, the CPU connector. I need to figure out if I want to replace this fan, because this fan took a long time to get on. It was really hard, like really hard. I don't know why I had the hardest time trying to put it on, but so I don't know if I'm going to switch it out for the fans over here. These are the Up Here fans. These are the RGB ones, but I'm gonna have to see how they look in the case before I put this on this thing, because I mean, oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys can see. I think I bent one of these things, but I remember watching somewhere that they said that was kind of okay. I don't know if you guys can really see that. Yeah, but other than that, let's hope I can get into the BIOS. Guess we'll see in a couple seconds. Okay, before we go on, I really want to apologize for the zoom. Jeez, it's making me even cringe. The video I was going to play explains why I was going to swap the included Be Quiet fan for the Up Here RGB one, but the footage is so bad and it's not really important, so I'm going to skip it. Moving on. Alright, so I went ahead and I swapped out the fan, and the RGB RAM is working, the fan is working, the RGB lights on the motherboard's working, and you can see the power supply working. That fan's going good. It actually out fan right here. This is the RGB connector, and this is the fan connector. This was only a 3-pin connector, and the thing was a 4-pin, and when I saw over here, I saw this. I don't know if you can see that really well, but that's a 4-pin right there. And so I was like, I don't know, is it gonna fit or not? And apparently it does. And apparently it works, because I haven't plugged it into my monitor. It's way over there. Yet I have this monitor that I'll be using instead. It's a VG245 from Asus, and since I don't have a graphics card, it'll be going to the HDMI. All that's left to do is put in the case and start cable managing. A lot of cable managing. Oh, and I'll put all those fans in the case as well. But I'm gonna clean up and we're gonna get started. All right, so I got the motherboard mounted inside the 4000D, and I thought, okay, what's the easiest thing that I can just go ahead and install? And I thought, okay, why don't I just install the 2TB SATA SSD? And I take it out. You can't really see the screws, but those are little screw holes there. Case should have some screws for these. Nope. My box should have some screws for these. Nope, that's an empty box. No screws for the SATA. So, I mean, it's gonna go right here. No screws at all. I'm gonna probably have to go to Home Depot or something to get me some screws. I'll just bring the SATA drive along. That's just, I don't know, mildly frustrating. I'm really kind of confused with what I'm going to install next. Maybe I'll install, this is the Wi-Fi card, and then the rest of the fans is the RGB controller. That's the Corsair Commander Pro. So yeah, I guess I'll be back in a second, but I'm kind of frustrated with Samsung on this one. Like, come on, include some screws that work with your drive. Don't just expect it, you know, to have some itsy bitsy tiny screws that are just laying around the house. Alright, update time. I have the front panel back on. I have all my fans installed. 3 in the front, one in the back, one up top, and one on the CPU cooler. My Wi-Fi card right there, that's enabled, and this cable right here, that's going into a USB Type-C. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, that's USB Type-C right there. That's USB. Right now, the back is kind of a mess of cables. I have a lot of faith in this and in this. Some extra fans here from Corsair, and yeah. I guess I'm gonna, you know what's going on about this, the SATA right now, but yeah, I guess that's going to be it for a minute. I'm gonna go try to do some more cable management, try to get the RGB Pro hub installed and all, figure out this for the front panel connectors, those haven't been connected yet. Oh, and my power supply is over here and still needs to go inside the case, because yeah, I kind of need power. Oh, and yeah, these dumb antennas are what came with my Wi-Fi card. I guess they're required if I want to have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So yeah, I/O, all that. I think that's about it. I'll be back in a minute. All right, update time. So I was going to use the Corsair Commander Pro fan controller along with the Commander Pro RGB hub, but I decided to go with up here fans because one, they're less expensive, and two, I kind of like the way these things look. I mean, these look pretty nice. Anyways, so I saw that the Corsair had a fan controller in the box, and I was like, well, I'm probably not gonna be using that. I'll just use the, you know, the Corsair. I won't use the up here controller, I'll use the Corsair controller. As you can see, I switched over to the up here controller because, well, these fans don't fit that controller. So yeah, we're using that now. All the fans are all mounted up. Let's see if, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see all the stuff is all hooked up over there. You can see those two little ones. Those are the fan and the RGB stuff. So all that's left to do is this is front panel fans, and this is power supply, not front panel fans. What am I talking about? Front panel connectors. These are power supply connectors. Just hook them all up, and it looks like I need to put all that away so I can return it. It looks like after that we are good to start booting and installing Windows on this thing. Yeah, I'm going to return. Oh, I also need to install the SATA, but I'm about to go to Home Depot, and yeah, right here it is. I'm about to go to Home Depot to try to get some screws that work with that. Yeah, alright, I guess I'll see you guys in a sec. Alright, so this is the moment of truth. Got my cable hooked up all the way over here, but everything should be hooked up now. All of my front panel connectors are all connected here and here. All my power supply cables are connected. The only thing that isn't hooked up is the Samsung drive, but go ahead, hit that switch. We have a green light. We have some RGB. And instead of using the power button, let's use this power button. Oh, there it goes! There it goes! Let's go! It's all working. Oh, except for that one. That one's off on its own mind. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, maybe I need to reroute the cable somehow. Because I think... Give me a second. Alright. I think if we go back here, one of these said, yes, this one says CPU fan. If I plug this into CPU fan, what will it do? Will they all sync up? Yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick and I'll be back. All right, so I've rerouted the cables from down there, where my big old hand's in the way, to up here where it says it should go. Don't mind the cable management, it's a bit of a mess. I'm going to try to fix it. I can't do anything about that cable, unfortunately, but for the rest of the cables I can. All right, all plugged in. Let's hit the power. LED lights are going, and power. There we go. Let's go. They're all synced up, except for the RAM, but I don't have an operating system on the M.2 yet, and I don't have the 2 terabyte SSD yet. So once I get operating system on and the programs are running, these are all running, and they're all in sync. So they all, okay, so this just had to be plugged in with the fan controller. Alright, that makes sense. Well, I'm going to do some more cable management, pop the backplate on, and go and get Windows installed. Alright, I'll see you in a minute. Alright, well, the build is done. Kind of. So, other than the graphics card, there's 2 things that need to happen with the fans. One is that the included controller, I might have already said this, but the included controller for the fans, the RGB controller, isn't addressable individually, so I'll have to buy some splitters to help me individually address the controllers, each of the fans, so that way, you know, I can do custom lighting stuff. Right now it's just on a rainbow loop. I got Windows installed, I have my speakers up, need to do a bit of cable management. Need to get a GPU whenever, you know, they come in stock, which is, who knows when they come in stock. Right now those fans are going full blast. I have no idea why. What I'm trying to do is I'm going to try to restart the system. Also, that happens. So like I'll hit the power button and none of the fans will turn off or anything. It's saying no, see, there it goes. I don't know if that's just like I don't know. I really don't know. So apparently those problems in that last clip were because of some drivers that were not installed. Those problems are all fixed now. In fact, I'm editing this video off the PC using Filmora 9, which will be replacing his Film Express as my main video editor. Anyways, here's a video on the finished build. Thanks for watching. If you've made this far, please consider giving this video a like. Anyways, goodbye for now. I'm It's Joey G, and I'll see you next month.